What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if SpiderMan's DLC will be shown at Square Enix's E3 show. Quite a long intro to that, but, this is something that we've talked about games and announcements and stuff that I do think are quite possible, some that are more of like a long shot, some that I just don't think are even remotely possible, right? This one I feel like is it's hard to say like fully assured, especially because I'm not sure how it works with if Sony isn't there. However, I talked about this for Final Fantasy VII. Okay, I did a video about, would they announce a part 2, and I did get some cool responses, which I want to thank people who left responses in that, because they gave out examples of times where there's been a drop of info about a game or a product that's exclusive, but that company wasn't there. So I think that opens up the potential for Spider-Man to be at E3. So we'll break it down pretty easily, I'd say, in this video. Before I get too far in, make sure, as always, if you guys haven't already, you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, so you know all these videos go up. E3 is just another couple weeks away, and we're going to be covering it a ton. I've made almost close to 25 videos on E3 already, so we're going to be picking it up even more. So again, make sure you guys are subscribed. If you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, PodcastNow15 is my Twitter handle. Pretty important, I'd say, to follow me over there for news and updates. Link for that is in the description below. Okay, so I guess the first thing again is is Avengers going to be at E3, right? That's probably the first thing, because you don't just drop DLC info if the game itself isn't there. So we know that Outriders is a big deal for Square Enix now. I think still Avengers in a large amount is still pretty important to Square Enix. I find it very hard to believe that they'd be going to E3, and no matter the size or scope of their E3 presentation, I'd be shocked if Avengers wasn't mentioned at all. You could say, should it be mentioned? And the answer, maybe you just want to leave it for dead at some point. But in reality, no, it's a game that you have to keep supporting as long as you can, or as long as you want it to still be a thing, pretty much. And I've had very conflicting thoughts about Avengers. There's no hiding that. I'm not trying to hide from it, right? I've been very up and down with this game ever since it was announced, throughout leading into it being released, and then ever since it's been released. I've been all over the place. But one thing I will say is, at least the people online, I've seen it on Twitter and YouTube and stuff, there is still that dedicated core group. Now, is there all that many people still playing it? No, there's very, very little. But you see a passionate group. You see them still trying. While I don't like anything they've done with the skins and all that different stuff, they are legitimately, you can't take it away from them. They are still trying to support this game. Okay, so I think the game's going to be there. I really do. And I think Black Panther probably takes center stage. So the reason I say Spider-Man, and the reason why I do think that's still possible, is because, it's a chance, much like their War Table events, right? It's a chance for you to talk about the now and then the future. So Black Panther hopefully / should release this fall, okay? But I think, you're on the world stage. Truly, E3 is, all eyes are on you. And so you have a chance to say, okay, well, here's what's coming to Avengers right now, or in the very near future, and then here's what's coming to Avengers, after that. Another thing is, don't forget, Spider-Man was probably supposed to release for this game, or the initial window was around March 2021. So we've passed that now by 2 months. It'll be 3 months, closer into E3. So we've long passed that. Black Panther definitely seems to be next. The thing is, could they? Now, I think they've mentioned about Spider-Man. Spider-Man could technically come around the same time. That just, I think, adds more fuel to the fire, right? Because if Black Panther comes out, say, in October or November, and Spider-Man comes out the same time, well, I do think now is the time then that you announce him. Even if Spider-Man comes out after then, well, one, I think that's just terrible. If I was Sony, I'd personally be again, I don't want to criticize them just to criticize them, but I'd be asking for my money back, because Sony gave them however many millions of dollars to put Spider-Man in that game, and it's not going to be worth the money that they paid. I'll just say that flat out right now. In terms of there's not going to be as big of a base of people playing the game as you probably thought, and it could potentially come out a year after you thought it was going to come out. So those are all, honestly, those are criticisms for sure, and you could say too harsh or whatever, but taking away the jokes and stuff, I think that's more of a reason to announce it, at least to announce it, right? Because in some people's minds, or in some ways, you could say maybe it's been canceled. Like, they can say whatever they want about it, but who's to say in the background they haven't canceled the idea? Who's to say they're like, hey, we were gonna do Spider-Man, but maybe you really can ask for refunds in the situation. Maybe Sony was like, nope, deal's off the table. Square Enix, we know, has moved pretty much a large amount of that team that made Avengers. They've moved them to the next project. There's basically a ghost squad still making the game. So, again, like, they can say whatever they want, and it's up to you. I'm not going to police your thoughts. It's up to you to believe them or not believe them, whenever you guys want to say. But in my opinion, there's a lot that could have happened behind the scenes where they say, nope, like, we just things have changed. Just it's not really even a negative thing. Things have changed. No, I think things have changed. Like, there's no doubt about it. Things have definitely changed. I think they really did expect to support this game for years. They probably expected to probably leave a bigger part of the team still working on this game, and a lot of those things have fallen through. But I will give the benefit of the doubt that I still do think Spider-Man's coming, and I think that now is the time, even if he's not coming for a while, even if it really is Black Panther and then him, not him and Black Panther at the same time, I think you still do it. You still announce it, like, right now, so that at the very least you have something to look forward to. There's nothing wrong with doing it, even though you'd have quite a longer wait. I think it still helps your product, because you could be looking at it and say, okay, well, yeah, if you're playing Avengers, that's just something to look forward to. Even like me, I stopped. I stopped in October, and I haven't gone back, and I want to. I really do. I have the desire here and there. But even for somebody like me, just to say it, it's like, okay, I can set my calendar for November. Like, I know in November, Spidey's coming, and I will be able to, like, that's gonna be the month. I'm circling it because that's the month I'm jumping back into the game. So I think the odds are high. I normally would have thrown in that I don't know how it would work, because Sony has, like, those rights, and it's, like, exclusive to PlayStation. Again, the thing I was mentioning earlier with the Final Fantasy stuff, there were times with Final Fantasy VII that they showed or talked in considerable depth of the game without PlayStation present. So I think, to me, that's kind of enough info that just because Sony isn't there, because remember, Sony's not going to E3. So my question would be, well, if Sony's not going, can you announce a game and now this is not a game, this is a DLC, but I'm saying, like, different examples. Could you announce a game at pick a conference, Take-Two, I think, is actually going to have one. Say Take-Two announces a brand new game, but it's Sony exclusive. Would they do that there because Sony's not there? Like, wouldn't Sony want to be there too to kind of, like, help it or comment on it, stuff like that? And the answer is probably, but it doesn't have to be. And so for something like this, a DLC, I think, yeah, it would make more sense if Sony was going, but I don't think they have to go, okay? So that's just my opinion. That's other people's opinions that I personally saw, and I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments below. So what do you think? Do you think Avengers is at E3? Do you think Spider-Man is shown at E3? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed. Again, bell icon turned on. I will be covering all these events. I'll be covering Square Enix's presentation on this channel. We're gonna have a lot of fun stuff coming. When E3 is I guess ongoing. So make sure subscribe, bell icon, leave the video a like. If you guys want to follow me again over on Twitter, Podcast Now 15, links in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you all on the next video.